Christmas dinner. Turkey steam still in the air, lights flickering gold on the tree. She slid the divorce papers across the table with a smile sharp enough to cut skin. "Sign here, worthless worm." Her brother grinned like a man rehearsing cruelty. "Pack fast, boy, and never show your face again." Her mother's laugh was thick with wine. "You'll leave with nothing." I looked at the three of them, their smug little court. The noise of the season turned hollow in my ears. I picked up the pen, signed, folded the papers neatly. Then I stood, left the gifts unopened, took the stairs two at a time, packed everything that mattered into one bag. Not clothes, not keepsakes, evidence. On my way out, I smiled. The next morning, they woke to sirens, blue and red flashing through their perfect curtains. Because I had been planning for this longer than they had. It hadn't started at Christmas. It started last summer, when she stopped meeting my eyes after 10 p.m. When the bank account bled money into miscellaneous expenses she couldn't explain. Her brother had been too comfortable in my house, too free with his comments about my work, my earnings, my future. Her mother's smile had been more of a smirk every time I mentioned paying off the mortgage early. I'd seen the affair coming before I could prove it, and when I finally did, the betrayal was worse than expected. Not just her and another man, but her and him, her brother. The money drained from our accounts hadn't gone to hotels or jewelry. It had gone into buying out her mother's failing business, in my name, with my credit. A business drowning in debt she planned to let sink, with me still chained to it. They wanted me stripped bare, bankrupt, disgraced, then thrown away like I'd never been part of their little dynasty. They thought the divorce papers would finish it. They didn't know I'd already been taking notes. Months earlier, I had quietly pulled bank statements, cloned her phone while she slept. Every text, every call, every drunken voicemail from her brother was cataloged. Every fake invoice from her mother's vendors filed away. I met with a forensic accountant, slid him a retainer in cash, watched his eyebrows rise as he flipped through the evidence. I hired a private investigator, gave him a single instruction: prove it all. He did. Photographs, recordings, signed receipts, even her voice on a call to the bank forging my consent to a transfer. I stayed quiet, smiled at her over dinner, kissed her cheek before work, watched the three of them tighten the noose, thinking I hadn't noticed the rope. The night before Christmas, I made one last call to an old friend in law enforcement, a man who disliked her family almost as much as I did. I sent him a package, told him to wait until morning. The sirens were for them. Fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy, charges spelled out in black letters that could not be smiled away. I stood on the curb across the street, coffee in hand, while they were escorted out in pajamas. Her brother shouting about lawyers, her mother clutching her robe closed. She saw me. The look wasn't rage, it was recognition, the dawning truth that I had never been the fool she'd counted on. She didn't speak. Neither did I. They froze my accounts, seized her business records, hauled boxes of evidence out of the house I no longer lived in. My friend in law enforcement passed me on the sidewalk, file in hand. "Every piece traces back to them," he said quietly. "You're clean." I nodded once. I know. The real sting wasn't the arrest, it was the humiliation. Neighbors whispering, local news crews circling like vultures. I'd made sure the private investigator's report had gone to the press at the same time as the warrant. Every sordid detail, every late-night meeting, every falsified signature, every wire transfer. By the time they made bail, their reputations were already ash, and ash doesn't rebuild. I didn't return to the house, Didn't retrieve what I'd left behind. I moved into a small apartment overlooking the river. Clean walls, quiet, no reminders of their voices. People ask if I miss her. I don't. You can't miss something that never truly existed. What they took from me wasn't money or property, it was time. Years I will not get back. But what I took from them was everything they measured themselves by. Their status, their image, the illusion that they could wound without bleeding. The last time I saw her was in court. She tried to glare, but her eyes wouldn't hold mine. She knew. I left without waiting for the verdict. I already had it. They'd planned to leave me with nothing. Instead, I left them with exactly that.